Hey butterflies, thanks for tuning in to the comic verse. My name is Ruby. So today I'll be going over Giant Size X-Men with Nightcrawler. So far, both Giant Size X-Men seem like filler stories, but what's really happening is they're tying in the concept of as above, so below. So what's happening in the micro level of our lives is also happening on a macro level. There's a lot of symbology with the eggs, which I will get into, but on a larger scale, it's reflecting what's happening on Earth and krakoa, which is exactly what's depicted in this Nightcrawler issue. So these spiders start attacking them, but only because there's this egg infestation where Lady Mastermind is trapped. On a larger scale, that seems to be the reflection of the eggs that everyone is being cloned through. So Mother Earth, being the womb, is feeling attacked, like there's an infestation in her body. And a lot of us have experienced the pain of Mother Earth through our micro experiences, and that's what these eggs represent. I'm going to get into the long version, but just know that it all connects in the end, okay? Let me start with Earth, because everything is symbolic of our inner being, including any myths and deities I speak about. Mother Earth is this space, the womb, and the egg that we are in. But there's also Father Earth, who is the ground that we walk on. So when we speak about the importance of healing Mother Earth, that's not just about feminine energy. The masculine is just as important. The only way to heal Earth and others is by healing ourselves. That's it. Everyone hates Superman because he's too perfect, right? And he's not relatable. But Superman has a huge flaw. He thinks he's Captain Save Every Damn Buddy. When you have high empathy and you don't know how to manage it, all you end up doing is depleting your own energy. The simplicity of life is being who you are, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and attracting people on the same resonance. The bonus is that when we do that, we naturally plant seeds in others who cross our path. There's no need to force anyone to do anything because that's just their path. A lot of us will speak out for certain issues without even being healed ourselves. It reminds me of this picture I saw of a person with lost puzzle pieces within themselves, but they continue to rip out another piece in order to replace the missing piece of the person in front of them. That's exactly what it's like. You can't fix or save everyone. And it's not our job to do so, because even that piece that you gave to them is only a temporary fix for them. Our only job is to heal ourselves, check in with ourselves, and see where we need balancing, because it's constant growth. So there's masculine earth and feminine earth, the ground and the womb. If we look at the micro ourselves in our chakra system, the root chakra is the masculine energy which keeps us grounded. It gives us stability and the momentum to move forward. The second chakra is the sacral, the womb, the feminine energy which is our creative force and the hub for our emotions. We all resonate predominantly with one essence over the other, but we do have both energies within us, so it's important to acknowledge and heal both aspects. If we look at these in an external way, it's always the feminine energy that's charging the masculine. That's why you'll see Egyptian gods depicted with the goddess behind him as the life force with the Ankh. We also hear this in the expression behind every successful man is a good woman. And within the Egyptian deities, there's Ma'at and Tehuti, or Thoth, who cannot exist without the other. Tehuti needs the harmony and order of the feminine for his ideas to be effective, and Ma'at needs the mind of Tehuti for her cosmic law to be expressed. Ultimately, they represent the mind and the heart being in balance, knowledge versus wisdom. Why does any of this matter? Because the label of man and woman is probably one of the earliest forms of duality that keeps us stuck in a loop. This has nothing to do with being gay or straight. This is me saying I don't care about any of that. I don't care if you're against it, and I don't care if you're for it. This is about realizing that we're bigger than the arguments that keep us distracted. Someone will listen to this and have a problem that Tehuti as the male represents the mind, and that's like saying the woman doesn't have a mind. But I'm saying both those aspects are within all of us. It's broken down into male and female, so that we have a human perception of these energies that are within. I spoke about as within, so without in a previous video, and that concept applies here. It's not about sexual orientation, it's just recognizing what is within, so that when you see it reflected outside of you, you connect to it. Recognizing the balance within you will help you recognize how that balance plays a role when that energy is externalized, so that we know this is not a battle of the sexes and who's better, who's more powerful. It's realizing we all play our roles to create the whole. The heart and the mind need each other. The masculine and feminine can't exist without the other. Secondly, recognizing one duality can lead to the breakthrough of a chain of dualities. A duality is two opposites. Is it masculine or feminine? Is it good or bad? Is it angelic or demonic? And then we place labels. You're a racist, you're an abuser, you're a gold digger, you're a simp, and the list is endless. Our experiences all matter because that's what builds our character and the things that we stand up for. I feel like our human issues are very important to our development, but that's all it's here for. There are so many issues in the world that it would not be possible for us to stand behind every single one. We speak up for the ones that have affected us or those around us personally. But ultimately, whatever issues and trauma that we all go through, it's meant to lead us to lessons that lead us to growth, which leads to healing, which leads to connection. Connection with self, with humanity, and the universe. I see issues as stepping stones to the next level, so I'm not going to sit here and get mad at certain groups of people because I'm not in that duality. I refuse to participate in that game. I live in a polarity where I know hurt people hurt people. Duality says you're on that stick and I'm on this stick. Polarity says we're on the same stick, just on different ends. If you don't want to come over to this end, that's fine. I'm not expending energy on the broken records that don't want to change. I'm here to speak to the people who resonate with me. Most of the time, we get so caught up with the pain that we can't recognize what's here to open us to deeper levels of healing and awareness. And that's really the biggest struggle or the biggest challenge that we have, is the battle with our own mind. So let's get back to the eggs. In Egyptian mythology, it's the god Geb, a male, who turns into a goose and lays an egg from which the sun rose. The goose is also relevant in Chinese cultures, but somehow the most popular story that has been pushed out is the goose that laid the golden eggs. Just to clarify, this is my personal interpretation of the story, okay? So the story is that this farmer becomes rich off the goose who laid a golden egg each day. But he was greedy and he wanted more money faster, so he decided to kill the goose and get the gold inside, only to find out that all he did was kill his golden goose. When I hear this story, it's like, hey guys, let's take out the aspect of the masculine here altogether, because this story is about using the feminine. We don't want the masculine to remember who he is in all of this, and we don't want him to support the feminine energy if she ever wakes up. The only masculine in the story is the farmer who uses the goose and doesn't even care about its life. That's the toxic masculine, not the divine. And shout out to the divine masculine. I see you, I hear you, and I appreciate you guys, okay? So in the mythology, it's just one regular egg, but in this story, it's a golden egg every day. The golden egg is the womb. It's the space of Mother Earth that we wander in. So every day she gives us the space to live. She gives us life. We wake up to the golden egg, the sun, every day. But that's not enough for some people. They want all the gold they can get by killing Mother Earth. Fuck the earth and the people on it. It's all about money. At this point, we can step into the concepts of the matrix and the grid being controlled, which is Mother Earth. But even with those theories, it's the humans trying to live eternally. And what is krakoa about? Eternity, cloning, apocalypse. But let me keep it on a rational scale, because either way, it's clear that there's a power struggle. The system is messed up, the feminine and masculine have been dealing with their toxicities, and Earth hasn't been treated with respect. So basically, the weak, greedy people are ruining it for the rest of us because they're trying to kill the goose, and we're all going to end up with nothing. That's where breaking through dualities is important, especially right now because we're in the blame game. Everyone is on edge with what's happening, so there's a lot to be outraged and upset about, but that will only work against us. And this is reflected with the creation of krakoa, because they focused on the duality. They said, screw you humans on that stick, we're creating our own stick over here. Meanwhile, they're still on the same damn stick, which is what leads to both of their destruction. So it seems to me that the Giant X-Men series so far has been projecting how krakoa is feeling, which is just an extension of Earth. First, we see Storm breaking out of the egg in her unconscious mind screaming, "Save me." And now we see this living tunnel speaking through the spiders, speaking through frequency as the Earth does. It was only attacking because it felt threatened, and the solution was for the eggs to be removed. I see this as foreshadowing of krakoa lashing out for all this cloning. But on another level, it's also revealing the suppression of the feminine energy, whether it's a mental prison like Storm or a physical one like Lady Mastermind. And this ties in with Emma's agenda in Marauders. She said multiple times that it's our time now, the women. She's still in the game of duality, but that's realistic to the modern savage woman who doesn't care. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. When the feminine is awake, you're screwed. Like I said, this is not a who rules who thing. You can't control the goose with the golden egg once she realizes she is the gold. This is another aspect of the story because not every goose has this ability. I see the golden egg as the philosopher's stone. It's alchemy. Alchemy is turning lead to gold, and in reality, it's transmuting negative to positive. Just like in the very first Harry Potter with the philosopher's stone, he was able to see the stone because he had love, because he was able to transmute transmute that negative energy from that dark space and vibrate into a higher frequency. That's alchemy. Just to sum it up, it's a simple concept, and we all want to be positive, and we all have the capacity to be an alchemist, but not everyone walks that path or is awakened to it. So when you have that potential energy, but you're not aware of it yet, that's when it gets used. Because the initial form of that powerful energy is just chaos. That's not to say you're a crazy person, it's just a certain level of energy. Just like the creation of the universe, through chaos came order. So you can have the golden energy, but because you're unaware of it, it gets misdirected, and oftentimes it gets used and abused. But like I said, our traumas are our stepping stones, and it's through the weak points that we discover our strength. Sometimes it's through the process of someone using us for our golden egg that we realize that our egg is gold. Usually that's the case, because how are you going to realize you can transmute energies without the main component of darkness? But the real question is, are you going to wake up? Because the struggle is within our minds when we get stuck in the pain, or we try to move past it in a hurry instead of going through it. So I don't know anything about Lady Mastermind, but I know that Storm is a golden goose that's still sleeping. Here's an Omega level mutant who fights for the good guys, but she doesn't know her worth yet. She didn't feel worthy enough for Black Panther that one time. She's been worshipped as a goddess at some point, but she still views herself as the orphan thief, and she still deals with claustrophobia. I know X-Men's this team, but what does she do? She just follows orders from Professor X. She's like the good girl and Emma's the bad one, and that's why they don't get along, because they're opposites fighting a duality, and neither of them have come into their divine feminine because they're tearing down the other aspect that they need. Storm may have the best of intentions, but she has not balanced her mind. And Emma may have realized her power, but she's not balanced in her heart space, just like Magneto versus Professor X, or the old Professor X, I should say. So I say all of this to say, whether you're a man or a woman, your healing process does matter in the bigger picture. What does your relationship with your parents look like? Sometimes we aren't in a position to resolve relationships directly, so this is about internal conversations and forgiveness. How do you view your own masculine and feminine aspects? Are you nurturing and supportive of yourself or your projects? Remember who you are and don't get caught up in the blame game. We don't need to dedicate ourselves to helping others. That's a choice through passion or purpose. All we're required to do is heal these aspects within and make sure they are seen by us, so we can step into our authentic power. That's the whole conversation about being sovereign, but that probably has to be a whole other video. So that's everything. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and spending your time with me today. I'm sending all of you my love, and I hope that you find the strength to face your fears, to wake up, and not to just find your balance, but to continually keep that balance of your heart and mind, because it is an ongoing process. It's time for us to step into our authority and realize who we really are, okay? So on that note, stay flying free. I'll see you guys next time.